your mom collect any creature?
No. That's a good point.
So
you know what?
strange.
That's a good point. What the?
Because it wasn't just a few eagles, a few frogs, a few
just a few,
Dalmatians.
no.
I remember going into Scott's room, and it was just there were shelves devoted to tons of just Dalmatians, as far as the eye could see.
Yeah.
Your room was just there were so many eagles, Alex.
Yeah.
I can't describe. We need to take a picture of it. I remember your father had frogs, but they were kind of placed around the house.
Yeah, they were in like this kind of big bookcase type thing.
Yeah,
Show-
but you're eagles. Are you still collecting eagles? Because I feel
No.
like you have probably one of the largest collections.
Well, it's dwindled quite a bit. A few of them broke over the years. Seba and I, when we lived together with different rotating roommates, Kevin Agostino, one of your first guests, being one of them.
That's right.
So if we had a lot of parties, and so things break at parties, especially our parties.
They were raucous
better the
parties often,
eagles
yeah.
than the holes in the wall. So a lot of them broke. I gave. There was a period where I would give them to girls
As
that I was
gifts?
dating.
yeah.
Like, here, have one of my. I'd tell them the story in an endearing manner. Like, here, have one of my eagles.
Now, when
kind
you
of
say
thing,
you tell them the story, was the story, hey, everyone buys me eagles in my family because it's hard to shop for people?
Yeah.
And so here's one of them?
Yeah.
Or was it, did you come up with some fake story to win them over with how precious these eagles are to you?
Well, I don't know. It's probably a little bit of A, a little bit of B.
Actually been trying to forget about it.
So I actually only really have a few eagles left, and I wish I had more left.
Well, you know what? Everybody listening, buy Alex an eagle.
We'll start a GoFundMe for Alex's eagle collection.
Yeah, I hope it does better than my leg fund. You laugh, and I'm here, slowly dying.
Well, that's because you're still wearing pants in 40-degree weather. Just as a side note, thoughts on the band The Eagles?
Don't like them.
Didn't live up to all the porcelain.
No. Don't like them. And I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I stopped liking, because as a kid, my mother would listen to them, and they're just music that you hear around the house. Right? And then the Big Lebowski. I saw the Big Lebowski, and he hates the Eagles. That's part of the movie, right? And
You adopted that, didn't you?
well, Tito and I would laugh about it, and we both developed this hatred for the Eagles. But now he's Tito, our friend Chris Curtis, journalist for the Montreal Gazette. But now he's gone back on that. Now he loves the Eagles. So now
So are you thinking about following him, or
Well, I don't know. Now
are
I
you
feel
still
like
too dead set in your adopted feelings from
feel
the Big
betrayed.
Lebowski?
Feel betrayed, quite frankly.
Now, I feel like both of you have a bunch of things on your list, and we've barely talked about the hamburger. Should we get into a little hamburger, or do we want to blow through your list of talking points, guys?
Well, I don't know. I thought maybe organically we could get into these things, but I realized some
You
of
have
them.
a heck of a list, though, Matthew.
Yeah, some of them are probably not going to come up of their own volition. So maybe we could talk of the burger for a little bit. Did you have let's before we rate the burger, we're not getting into that yet. Let's
Sure.
talk about the burger a bit. Talk about
Okay.
the meat taste.
So, I mean, when my burger was put down in front of me, I mean, Alex is laughing because I felt cheated. I felt wronged in a way. I ordered a supreme burger, and then the burger that was put down in front of me was a tiny burger, and I kind of looked around in disbelief. I didn't understand what had happened, how the supreme burger ended up, being the size of a silver dollar. But
How old are you?
I am exaggerating a little bit, but it wasn't a very big burger. Matthew, you described it earlier as a meatball. And, when our server came back to ask if everything was okay, I was still a little dumbfounded. I didn't know whether I should say something about the size of my burger, if this was indeed the burger I asked for.
Someone was just playing a sick joke on you.
Yeah, like...
You're looking around to see where the cameras were.
Wouldn't be the first time.
And those gag people again.
Oh man, the Just for Laughs gags people, they're following me everywhere with their slide whistles. But no, it was fine. She offered to have another patty cooked up for me, but I felt like I was on the clock. And you know what? It's fine. It's fine. Let me just have this burger as is. And,
you complained?
I didn't complain. I was confused as to whether or not this was actually the burger I ordered. A supreme burger. I didn't expect to be so small.
I don't want to hear it from you anymore. Now I want to hear that same situation. But Alex, did it go exactly that as he said it did, or did he complain a little?
No, he didn't complain too much. I mean, I kind of when the waitress came back around, it was me who said, you want to address this?
Yeah. Oh man, you instigated it.
But I feel like I had tried to warn him that the menu may have been, not as clear as, because I've been there a few more times than he has, right? So I knew that on the other pages where the normal burgers were. Mm-hmm. But still,
but like, yeah, you pointed to one and you said, well, I think that's 2 burgers, and I saw one that was a quarter pounder, so I assumed like the regular version was also a quarter pounder or something like that. Long story short, I ended up just getting the one small burger and a great big serving of those Suzy Q fries. And I quite like those Suzy Q fries. Yeah. I don't know how to describe them much more than they're tiny, curly little fries.
Yeah, that's how I would describe the worst French fries ever.
Oh, really? Yeah. You didn't like the French fries?
No.
Wow. Don't
like the song, don't like the fry.
You don't like the song Suzy Q?
No, and don't use it as our intro-outro song.
Oh, man, I promise nothing.
You have perfectly good songs. You have You Can Call Me Al. You have Anything by the Eagles.
That's true.
Soak Up the Sun, but that's more of an inside joke, I think. I don't even know if Alex remembers.
No, I don't.
You have to jog my memory.
He hated the song Soak Up the Sun.
Sheryl Crow?
I believe so, because the opening line was...
Oh, yeah, I remember.
My friend the communist.
Alex
does not like communism.
Of course.
No, Alex was a big fan of communism
wait.
at the time of the release of that song. And I think we all related it to Alex.
These are rumors
that might have been
about my love of communism. These are all vicious rumors.
Okay, hold on a second. So you hated the song... My memory is hazy, but you did hate the song, right?
Yeah, well, the Sheryl Crow in general just bugs me.
Mm-hmm. I can get behind that.
Although recently I revisited some of her catalog. I was like, this is Sheryl Crow? This is also a Sheryl? And then I kind of found myself enjoying it. But
I had that same sort of experience with Bryan Adams recently.
Bryan Adams is a national treasure.
He really is. I kind of had, maybe because of my more exposure to his later career work, that I didn't appreciate his earlier albums, like Cuts Like a Knife, real Canadian classics.
Oh, yeah.
Now, okay, so Suzy Q fries, you were saying, Matthew, you're not a big fan of. I feel like both Alex and I really were.
All right, well, I'm not going to argue. I've already lost.
Well, it's an opinion. We don't have to outnumber each other on opinions. You could just have your own opinion.
Opinions are battles. Well, not. Yeah, I don't know. I like a thicker fry.
Okay.
And I never like curly fries. The only thing worse is crinkle cut.
Really?
Yeah.
What is your problem with a curly or crinkle cut fries? These are some of my favorite fries.
It's just I don't get it. I don't get the
allure of a crinkle or curly cut.
I mean, what's wrong with just a fry?
Matthew is a no frills guy.
That's true.
You know what? It's really something to appreciate, I think. Keep it simple. No,
that's a good point.
Don't waste my time with all this. You guys have talked about this in the past, and I find myself nodding in agreement as I'm listening to you guys. Yeah, don't keep it simple. Keep it simple, stupid.
Nope.
Go
ahead.
I'm just got one final thought about these curly fries from me. They're like a barrel of monkeys because you can't just pick up one fry. They always grab onto another fry. Before you know it, you've eaten all your fries and you didn't even know it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I think you'll know it. I doubt you're going to accidentally eat all your fries, but I see your point. What did you guys think of your burgers?
Well, I want to stay on the fries for a second because I went in loving those fries, but now that you mention it, they are. You can't exactly, if you're dipping them as I was into mayonnaise because I'm, proud Quebecer. They're hard to maneuver with your fingers because they're kind of. Like they're kind of soft, you know what I mean?
It's make true. Them sound bad. I feel like it's rare that you have a bunch of fries that you basically ideally would use a fork
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. You kind of got to just grab a clump and dump the whole clump in your ketchup or mayonnaise or what have you.
No way to enjoy fries.
What am I, an animal?
Yeah.
I have to use a fork?
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah. Okay, Matthew. We're turning. You're winning the battle.
Yeah, I'm turning people's opinions around. You are losing now, Sebastian.
But will you win the war?
I doubt it, because Alex already claimed that he loves this place.
So anyway, the burger itself. I guess I'll get back to the burger itself.
Yeah.
A bit of my feelings on it once I finally bit into it and once I got over the fact that it was so small. I took a bite out of it, and you know what? It's a really thick patty, and I quickly changed my tune. It went from why do I have such a tiny burger to okay, instead of a big flat patty, it's a roundish patty. It's a much thicker patty. And you know what? I really appreciate that because you really get to enjoy the taste of the meat in every bite.
Yeah, every one of your 3 bites.
So I'm gathering, Matthew, you have some opinions on this hamburger.
I ate that burger like it was an entree, an appetizer. I ate it like a
slider.
Like a slider, yeah, like a meatball in between 2 little bits of bun. And then I was done, and I was like, "What do I have now?" I had the fries, which is a poor consolation prize.
There was some coleslaw and or salad rather.
Yeah, well, I got that coleslaw way early much earlier on,
I
and
find
I
that
ate
kind
that
of
whole
strange.
thing.
They use a coleslaw as an appetizer.
Distract you from how long it takes to get your meal.
That must be it. Yeah, we were even thinking you were waiting around on my porch, basically eating yogurt in the sun while we were waiting for our burgers to be cooked. And I was thinking, well, we got to be getting them any minute now. How long can it take to prepare one burger? I think we both ordered our burgers medium, which means they didn't have to cook it that long. So what's the holdup?
Yeah. What was the holdup? Indeed, yeah. You know, they can't argue right now. They have no voice here.
That's right.
But
They'll tweet at you.
Yeah.
you know, but
I like how we both sounded disappointed. Yeah. We didn't get a lot of mean tweets from places we review. Anyway.
Just back to Dick Ann's for a second. Did you say they're also closed on Tuesdays in some locations?
So I've been informed by show intern Nick Drapo that some locations, I believe Sources was one example, also closed on Tuesdays. So Dick Ann's, some locations, only open 5 days a week. I don't understand how they run their business. Maybe that's why so many of them are closing.
Get your act together.
All right. Alex, what did you think of the Mr. Steer burger?
Well, like I said, I been there a few times. Knew what to expect. I got the bigger burger. Very filling. I think I would have preferred to get a smaller burger, just so I didn't feel like I was lugging myself over here afterwards. It's a really tasty patty, though. I think no matter what size the patty is, and you know why it is. I've heard that they put onion broth.
Interesting.
Soup
that makes sense.
In the meat.
When you say that adds up to what
It's
I
a really
tasted.
juicy patty.
Mm-hmm. Very flavorful.
Mm-hmm. I went for the Hero Burger, which had caramelized onions and bacon and spicy mayonnaise.
Even when you ordered that Hero Burger, I wasn't sure if it was a hero like Superman or a hero like those Greek raps.
Yeah.
Hero.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
it's
a confusing name.
H Hero.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, good.
I would have preferred the small burger.
But that's really a matter of appetite. You just weren't that hungry today. You know, it wasn't dinner time. It was kind of an early lunch for you. So I mean, you can't really complain about the size. Well, you can complain about what you damn well please. But you're not really complaining about the size of the burger.
No, it was filling. And I mean, usually I'd go with just a regular burger because I'm like you, Matthew. I keep it simple. Just like the same with pizza. This is not a pizza podcast, but just like with pizza. Cheese, that's all I need. You know, if you could do a good cheese pizza, then you could do a good pizza as far as I'm concerned. The same thing with a burger. If you could do a good regular burger, I don't need, goat cheese or pickled, whatever.
Buns made of mac and cheese.
Yeah, buns made of mac and cheese, exactly. Just give me a burger. So this time I went a little crazy with bacon and onions on it.
That's not that crazy. I feel like that's like standard level craziness for me. That's me being reasonable and getting.
Well,
a
you're
normal
a
burger.
decadent guy, though.
It would seem that way. If they offer me a poutine, I'll take.